What if the people that you have manifested, that you have aligned yourself with, that you have attracted into your life, on your life path, on your journey so far, whether that be relationships, friendships, the relationship dynamic that you have with your parents, what if it wasn't all happening to you? It was happening for you. What if it was happening to enable you to let go and heal and evolve? What if your soul chose every single person so perfectly in order for you to really go on a healing journey? What if these people were sent to you to help your soul's evolution, to heal wounds generation after generation that have been passed down to you, that you carry, and your soul came here to heal, to feel, to let go of, and to rebirth a brand new generation? And as I'm saying that, and you're feeling into the relationships that you've been in, the life experiences, all of the stories are coming up for you right now. What if them people wasn't sent to you to fuck your life up? They wasn't sent to you to hurt you, to make you feel rock bottom. They wasn't sent to you to give you this life that you feel that you shouldn't have, that you're settling in a life full of pain and trauma. What if they wasn't sent to you for that? What if you're just choosing that? What if you're the one who's choosing that by choosing to stay in the story, choosing to be in the victim mentality and consciousness, and choosing a life that you have the ability to grow and evolve from, using this wisdom, using these experiences, using all of these people that have been on your path, that have made you feel a certain way? What if you can grow and evolve from it all? My name's Catherine Worsley. Welcome to my channel. I already feel like this is going to be a live coaching experience. So what I want you to do is, I want you to pause the episode. I want you to go and grab your journal or whatever you can take notes in. And I want you to be really present with this, because I feel you're going to get so much out of it, and you're going to want to be writing things down, because I'm going to say things that are going to be like a penny drop, where you're like, fuck yeah, that makes sense, and that makes sense, and then that makes sense why that happened, and that's going to be this episode. I can feel it. So make sure that you're present, make sure that you're interacting, make sure that you're taking notes, make sure that you're integrating whatever comes up for you throughout this little session, and also make sure to subscribe, because I want to be, my intentions for this channel, which is brand new by the way, so excited to be here, but my intentions is to awaken you, to set something off within you when you watch one of my videos where you're like, oh my god, she's just changed the way that I think about my life. I just want you to be open-minded. I just want you to be open to a brand new way of thinking. I'm not trying to put my beliefs on you or tell you what to do or how to think or how to feel. It's not that energy. It's the energy of, what if you changed your story? What if you was open to thinking a new way? What if you was just like a student of life, a sponge, taking it all in, and then allowed yourself to feel and think and show up different in this lifetime? The intention of this episode came from the energy of Valentine's. So it's Valentine's weekend. So I'm really feeling into the energy of the consciousness of relationships, people being single, all of the things. And this is the message that came through for me. This is the message of the work that really helped me grow and evolve. And honestly, as I'm sitting here now, I'm actually feeling into, this was probably my biggest work, this was probably my biggest growth. This work probably led me to my biggest timeline shift, through the awareness of the lessons that I needed to learn from the people that were sent to me on my path, from the parents that my soul chose before I came here. And we're going to get into it all. So grab a coffee, grab your journal, and let's get into it. Okay, so before your soul came here to have this human experience, your soul had a plan. It was all figured out. Your soul knew exactly what you was coming here to have this human experience for. Your soul chosen the parents that you have right now. So your soul chose a feminine, which is the mother, and a masculine, which is the father. Your soul chose those two people to be your parents in order to learn the lessons that you needed to learn for your soul to evolve into everything that you're destined to be in this lifetime. Every single person, good or bad, right or wrong, it doesn't matter, it's just energy, everything's neutral. Your soul chose them all to come onto your path, to learn those lessons. It's all a part of the soul's evolution. It's all a part of your dharma, your destiny, the reason for being here, having this human experience, which is a miracle. Like, it's a miracle that we are here having this human experience. The people that have been in your life so far was all a part of the plan. And I know for a lot of you watching this right now, that's not going to make any sense. In fact, I already know your nervous system is going to be like, absolutely not. I have not chose him. Why would I choose him? Why would I choose her? Why would I choose these parents? Stay with me, because if that's what you're feeling right now, if that's the energy that's coming through for you, this video is for you. I promise you, this shit changed my life. This shit helped me heal. This is the work that helped me to get to the root of every single wound that I was holding when it came to external people on my path. Let's use an example. If your soul, let's say that your soul came here to heal an abandonment wound, the wound of abandonment. So then your soul would choose so perfectly a parent, or maybe it was both parents, to ultimately activate that wound of abandonment. So you would have chosen a parent that abandons you, that leaves, that makes you feel unlovable, that makes you feel abandoned. And then that's the wound created in the inner child. The inner child carries that wound our whole entire life until we go back in and we do the inner child work and we heal the wound. But how would we heal the wound of abandonment? How would we heal the inner child feeling like the unlovable, like nobody cares about me, that everybody who comes into my life on my path just leaves? How would we heal that wound of that little girl as an adult? Because adult you still carries that wound. That will still be your belief system in your subconscious mind. And you'll find that you live a life of having the guard up. Nobody can get close. Yeah, you can come in, but you stay over there. I'm in control. You never let anybody fully in. You never let yourself fully be seen. And you always have this replay of thoughts that he's just going to leave. He's not going to stay around anywhere because everybody leaves me. That's the abandonment wound. The abandonment wound is playing out so perfectly. And then we create this codependency on that person. Then it becomes the energy of needing that person when that should never be it. Love is never a need. Because we already have everything that we need inside of us. Love is a want. I want that relationship. I want that person in my life. I want that man to make me happy and have this lovely, fulfilling relationship to add value to my life. But I'm whole and complete without them. I'm happy without them. I'm enough without them. I love me without them. That is the true frequency of love. And when we step into the codependency where we're in a need, that's an attachment. And that comes from a fear. And where does the fear stem from? The inner child, the little girl inside of you who feels abandoned, who feels unlovable, who grew up to have parents who didn't provide her with the love that she needed to receive. So then she's gone out into the world seeking that outside of herself. The universe will then send you people on your path who will activate that wound. How do you heal the wound of abandonment? You align with somebody who ultimately will abandon you. That's how you heal the wound. Because then the abandonment from that person activates the wound. That's when we have two choices. We can either go inwards and do the work and be like, oh my God, and now realize how dependent I was on this person to make me happy, to bring me joy, to add value to my life, how much I put his needs before my own, how much I invested me into him instead of investing me into me. And then it all makes sense, and then you do the inner work to heal and realize that people outside of ourselves cannot abandon us if we don't abandon us. Nobody can make you feel unlovable if you love you. Nobody can make you fear this deep feeling of rejection if you stop rejecting you. It's not about wanting to be seen by them. It's needing to be seen by you. The inner child within us is seeking everything that you didn't receive as a child from you. But you've created a story of, it's out there. It's in that relationship. It's in that friendship. It's in that business that makes me feel successful, so now I look good enough. It's in that Instagram post where I can show up and let everybody think I'm living my best life, and then I'll receive, then I'll feel good enough. And all along, your inner child is craving and seeking everything from you and only you. You're the only one who can give that to yourself. It's not out there. None of it. But that's the other option that we take. So we don't go inwards and do the healing work around it. Instead, we seek out the next relationship. We seek out how to fill the void. Whether that be dating new people, going out with the girls, alcohol, drugs, sitting on dating apps. Maybe it's creating this false identity on an Instagram platform. Maybe it's avoiding doing the work, so you're living in the gym. That was a big one for me. I always told a story of, I don't want to go inwards and heal, I'll go to the gym because that's doing the work. When actually the gym was distracting me massively from sitting with myself, from feeling myself, from allowing myself to feel the pain, to feel the feelings that was coming up for me, to allow myself to give myself permission to validate whatever I was going through. Then what happens is we stay in the cycle. We stay in the cycle. We can't break the cycle until we go into the cycle, until we have the awareness around the cycle, until we do the work around the cycle, and then we set ourselves free from the cycle. That's when we stop aligning ourselves. That's when we stop being a vibrational match for these frequencies that are ultimately activating that wound within us. Because if you didn't have an abandonment wound, you wouldn't be a vibrational match for a person who would come into your life and abandon you. If you didn't have a wound of maybe when you was a child, you was constantly criticised by your mum and dad, you had to be the perfect child, you had to get the best grades, you had to always be on this pedestal, else your parents made you feel like you wasn't good enough, you wasn't loved. So then you become, as an adult, a vibrational match for a person to bring that wound out in you. So they're always criticising you, they're always making you feel like you're not good enough. They're always making you feel a certain way where you have to live up to their expectations. Or if you grew up being rejected by your parents might have spoke to you in a certain way. They might have made you feel low about yourself, low self-esteem, low self-belief, low self-confidence. Adult you will then attract a man who activates that wound within you. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Every single person who has came onto your path was perfectly aligned for those wounds in order for you to have the courage to go within and heal them. The first key to that is the awareness. If we don't have the awareness of the wounds that we carry, how are we going to heal them? It's impossible. We're never going to be able to access them. And this is why it's so important to build that relationship with self, to honour yourself, to be there for yourself, to get to know yourself, to see how you operate. What types of people am I aligning with? What types of people are coming into my energetic field? What types of people are treating me in these certain ways? What's the trigger? What are they bringing out in me? That's the medicine. That's the healing. That's the awareness. That is where the growth happens. But we have to choose that. Because how much easier is it to be like, fuck that, I'm not dealing with that wound. I am not going into the whole abandonment issue because my mum left and this happened and then I felt this way and now I attracted this man and then that man done that to me. Oh, but wait, that man also done that to me. And even that man done that to me. And you'll realise that all of these men or women, whoever you go for, they're all playing out the same cycle, but they're in different bodies, they're different people. But it's the same energy. It's the same vibration. Because it's the same wound within you. That wound hasn't gone anywhere. That wound is still massively activated. That wound puts us into a victim consciousness of woe is me. Every man treats me this way. Every man that I align with doesn't treat me right. Why me? Poor me. I'm such a victim to life. It's so unfair. Why does everybody else get to be happy? Why does everybody else get the fairy tale ending and I get the shitty man? Why? It's just a story that you've created. And now that belief system is so deeply rooted that you stay in it, so then you manifest it. There's no leaving it. So let's go a little bit deeper here. Let's get a little bit vulnerable. So when I was in a domestic violent relationship, I was with somebody who abused me in every way. Mentally, physically, massively, sexually, like every form of abuse was in this relationship that I was in. Now I was in vibrational alignment for this person to come into my life from where I was in my life at that time. So we was a perfect match. I grew up with a dad who was an alcoholic and he couldn't provide for me, couldn't protect me, wasn't in the energy of like taking care of me as a little girl. So your dad is the first masculine, or maybe it might be your granddad or your male, whatever male role model you had in your life as a little girl is your masculine role model that holds the masculine within you because it's created as a child. So my dad taught me that the masculine wasn't safe. You couldn't depend on the masculine. The masculine didn't take care of you. The masculine wasn't there for you. It was unpredictable energy. So then I seeked out, as an adult, a man who was very, very controlling, who told me what to do, who told me where to go, who even told me if I could wear makeup that day, who wouldn't let me go to a gym where there was men, so I'd have to go to an all-girls gym, who literally would make me walk into a room and keep my head down. Controlled every aspect of my life, and I never once would argue back or try and defend myself because it was pointless. And also, he was a lot stronger than me. So that adult version of me who held the inner child wound in of needing a dad to hold the space for her, to protect her, to provide for her, to be there for her, I then held that wound within and created a relationship with a man who really controlled me, who really protected me, who really activated that wound in me, because on a subconscious level, my inner child needed that. My inner child was seeking that out. I just wanted a man to show me that they cared. When my dad didn't, he never, I was never given like a bedtime. I was never told to go to school. I was never told to be home at this time. I could sleep at anybody's house. I could do what I wanted. And as a child, we need that stability, we need that routine, we need that masculine to be like, I've got you, you're safe, you're just a little girl. and I'm the provider, I'm the protector of you. Where if you didn't receive that, you'll spend the rest of your life seeking it out. So then this man that came into my energetic field really amplified that to me. So then what did that relationship do? What did being in an abusive relationship do to my masculine within me, my masculine energy? It taught me the masculine is not safe. You do not let your guard down around the masculine. The masculine will hurt you. The masculine is a lot stronger than you. So you need to be able to protect yourself. You need to be able to guard your own heart because the masculine will hurt you. That relationship then created a belief system that made me scared of men. That made me hold this fear around men to the point that long after that relationship was done, I still couldn't be around a man. I still felt uncomfortable going to a gym, which I go to the gym every day. I love the gym. It's a massive value of mine, but I couldn't go to a gym where there was men. That relationship made me have this wound around the masculine, that the masculine was bad. The masculine, they're not good people. So never trust them again. You can't allow yourself to put yourself in that situation again where the masculine can take all of you away. Because that was the story that was created, because that was the belief system, because that was the relationship. Then the wounded masculine is birthed within me. So I'm carrying this wounded masculine energy which is deep rooted. I'm now living in a story that all men are on that vibration of what I experienced with him. So what do you think that done then? I attracted those types of men. I continued to stay in that cycle. I continued to allow men to come into my energetic field who replayed that story to me. So then I'd attract controlling men. I'd attract men who didn't treat me right. I'd attract men who shouted at me and raised their voices and would smash the house up. I attract men who was emotionally unavailable, unstable, and never knew where to stood with them because I was in a story. And don't forget, this is all happening on a subconscious level. There's no conscious awareness around this. So not at one point in my journey back then when I was aligning with those types of masculines did I have the awareness that, for one, it came from childhood, through your childhood wounds, and then that I manifested and aligned my energy with a man who treated me that way to activate that wound, and then that I stayed in a story. This is what I was saying before. If there's no awareness of the wound, then we can't heal the wound. So I didn't know that I was in this story. I was in the victim consciousness of, I always attract these men. Why me? Why do I always align myself with these shitty men? Not understanding that I was in that energy. I was looking and seeking for those men subconsciously from my wounding. And remember, the universe is always a yes. The universe doesn't speak a language, it's just energy. Your wounds attract out there what's going on within. The universe will always give you what you want on a subconscious level. The energy that you vibrate at, that you're in a vibrational alignment for. You're an energetic match to it all. I know this next part is going to be triggering for people, especially if you've been in a domestic violent relationship. But this is my message, because this is what helped me to heal. This is what helped me set myself free from those types of men. That enabled me to really go inwards and face that masculine wound within me, so that I stopped this cycle, so that I broke myself free from this cycle, so that I could create and rewrite a brand new story, because that story wasn't serving me. Is your story serving you? What is your story around the masculine? What are your belief systems around relationships? What types of men do you align yourself and vibrationally match with right now as you're watching this video? This is what I want you to be doing. I want you to create the awareness of why you are where you are in your life. Because then we can fix it. Then we can change it. Then we can heal it. Then we can rewrite it. Then we can break free from it all. We don't have to stay in it, and I'm proof of that. I'm proof that you don't have to be a victim to this life. I'm proof that if you go inwards and connect back to those dark, deep-rooted, painful wounds, that you can create a brand new life where you have this sense of inner freedom, where you're just like, I will never ever be a victim to my life ever again. I will never allow anybody to take my power away from me. I will never close my heart off. I'll always live in my heart space. Even though I've experienced so much hurt and pain and trauma, I'm still out here living a heart-led life. Why? Because I believe that I deserve it. Just because people, just listen to me. Just because there are people in your life that have hurt you, that have treated you disgustingly, that have broke your heart, that have caused you pain, that have brought you to your knees. You might even be feeling into this message thinking, that person has ruined my life. That doesn't mean that you then don't deserve to heal from it all and live a life of freedom. That doesn't mean that you don't get to fix and heal that wound, that broken heart, and live from the heart space, from your truth. That doesn't mean that you don't get to fall in love with you and who you are for all that you've been through. That doesn't mean that you have to stay in this victim consciousness for the rest of your life. You get to choose. And that brings me into having to forgive them. We don't forgive the people that have hurt us, the people that have come onto our path, who have done whatever they've done to us, whatever life experience you've been through. We don't forgive them for them. It's never about them. Ever. It's about you. It's about that inner child inside of you. It's about the life that you deserve to live. The one that you came here for. Remember what I started the video with? The one that your soul chose. Then people had to come onto your path. They had to. You had to go through those life experiences. You had to go through that trauma and that pain. It wasn't for nothing. Let me just say that one more time. It wasn't for nothing. It was all a part of the plan. You chose it. And you get to choose this. You get to choose who you are from here. You get to choose who you want to be. You get to choose how you want to live your life. Do you want to stay in the frequency of fear? Of being a victim? Of handing your power out to everybody? He hurt me, have me power. She hurt me, have me power. My mum and dad wasn't what I needed as a child, have me power. Do you realise how much you're giving your power away? When do you take it back? When do you make that decision? When do you set yourself free from all of it? Because it's heavy, isn't it? It is. I know it is. I know how heavy it is. I know what it takes every single day to wake up and carry that around. And I know how amazing it feels when you let it go. When you release yourself, when you surrender, when you set yourself free from it all. When you choose, I don't want to live that life, I don't want to stay in that frequency of fear, because that's what it is. The frequency that you're choosing to live your life in is fear. And you are masking it with telling the story that you're brave, that you're keeping yourself safe, that you're protecting yourself, that you're protecting you from getting hurt. And that's why the wall is up, the guard is up, and nobody is getting in, because my armour is on and I am ready to go to war. And I don't care who you are, how much you want to love me, how much you want to come into my life, and how much you care about me. You're not getting in, because I have to protect me, because I'm a strong, independent woman, and I don't need anybody, especially a man. That's a frequency of fear. That isn't your truth. It's not. You know it's not. That's a wound within you that was created from a masculine hurting you. That was created from your dad not loving you the way that you needed to be loved, not protecting you, not meeting your needs, not being the dad that you needed as just a little innocent girl. That created that wound. The wound that's not your story. It's not. And now you live your life through the frequency of the wounded feminine. So let's talk about the wounded feminine. So the wounded feminine is a big one. It is. It's a big subject. I'm going to do a separate video on this. But let's just touch base on the relationship side of it whilst we're in the frequency and on the topic. So when you have been in a relationship with a masculine who has hurt you, and that can be in any capacity, it doesn't have to be physical abuse, it can be not feeling safe, them breaking your trust, you allowing them in to your life and them taking advantage of that. You was then taught in that moment, in that lesson, you then created a belief system that you're going to protect yourself from now on. You're going to guard yourself from that energy. You'll never let yourself go through that again. I will never ever let a man treat me that way again. So I'm going to avoid men. Or maybe you're going to seek out men, but just not get attached. Just not let them in. Just not be vulnerable, not be seen. Not allow them to really love you. Because the guard's up. So then you become this fiercely independent woman. The woman who doesn't need anything from anyone. The woman who doesn't even want the man to open the car door, to pull out the seat, to hold the door. I don't need that. I've got me. Now you're this woman who does everything. You're the mum, you're the dad. You pay the bills, you run the business, you go to work, you pay for the car, you might even mow the lawn. You take care of all the household chores. You do everything. You're in a story of, I do not need a man because I've got me. I don't need a man in my life. But then you come to a part of your journey where you're like, do you know what? Actually, I do. I want a man. I'm ready to date again. I'm ready to be loved. I'm ready to let a man into my life because I'm ready for a relationship now. I've healed from that relationship. That's what we say we've done. Because we're over it. Because we've been out with the girls. Because we've got a bit of attention on social media. So that means that we're healed from the shit that he put me through. So now I'm going to seek out a brand new one. Remember that you're seeking from the wound within. So then this man comes into your life. And you're saying that you want this man to be everything to you. You want him to love you unconditionally. You want him to treat you like a princess. You want him to put you on a pedestal and make you feel like the most important girl in the world. Because every girl deserves that. I agree. But here's the twist. Here is the moment of realization for you, whoever you are watching this video. When that man enters your energetic field, he is met by your wounded feminine. The wounded feminine who doesn't need him. How can you receive love from this man when you're in a story of not allowing love in? When your guard is up, when you're protecting yourself from the exact thing that you're saying that you want. And then let's go a little bit deeper, because how can you attract the man who thinks the world of you, who treats you like a princess, who loves you unconditionally, who accepts you for everything that you are, when you do the opposite? You don't love yourself unconditionally. You don't accept yourself for who you are. You don't put yourself on a pedestal. You speak to yourself like you're a piece of shit. You stand in the mirror and completely pull yourself apart. You don't treat yourself nice. You're not in a loving relationship with you. So how can you attract that on the outside when you haven't got that going on the inside? Because remember, we don't attract what we want, ever. We attract who we are. We attract from a vibration, from an energy, from a frequency that we are on, that we create. So then, if you're operating from the wounded feminine, who doesn't want a man to hurt her, or to fully see her in a vulnerability when the mask is off, when she's open, if you can't receive within what you are seeking from him, what type of man do you think that you're going to attract? Emotionally unavailable. You're going to attract a man who can't give you the love that you're saying that you want, because on a subconscious level you can't receive it. So then you'll attract a man who's in this in-out energy. The wounded masculine is indecisive. He doesn't know what he wants. He wants a relationship, then he doesn't want a relationship. He loves you, then he doesn't love you. He's all in, then he's all out, nowhere to be seen. He wants to spend the rest of his life with you, and then he ghosts you. You have attracted that from the wounded feminine within you. You've got exactly what you're looking for, but on a subconscious level. So then this man comes into your life to show you all of these wounds. He shows you all of your shadows that you are avoiding. Them skeletons, they come out. All of them. There's nowhere to hide. Relationships are our biggest teacher. They will hold a mirror up to us to show us the truth of who we are, to show us who's behind that mask. So the real medicine here, what I want you to take away from this video, is those people that you are in energetic alignment with, who you are a vibrational match for, are a beautiful, beautiful mirror to reflect back to you your wounds and where in your life you are hiding, where in your life you're wearing a mask. Relationships really are an opportunity to give us that awareness, that deep awareness that we can't access when we're in our solitude, when we're not in a relationship, when we don't let somebody in. We can't access that level of awareness. So even though it feels really difficult and it feels really hard and you're like, oh my God, like this is such hard work, the invitation is to flip the script on that and be like, wow, thank you. Thank you for showing me my triggers. Thank you for showing me my awareness, because then I get to heal those parts of myself. I get to evolve. I get to shift timelines. I get to heal those wounds. So thank you for showing me exactly where they are. If anybody's got any questions about what's came up for you in this video, you're more than welcome to put them in the comments underneath the video and I will answer them for you. My next video, which I'm going to be recording tomorrow, I really want to dive into the difference between feminine energy, the masculine energy, and the role that our inner child plays in it all.